In this video, I'm gonna give you the ultimate guide to start wholesaling real estate. Now, if you're new to the world of real estate investing, wholesaling real estate can be a great way to start generating about $5,000 to $10,000 a month. While making $5,000 to $10,000 a month is great, that's not the best part. The best part is you can do this without any money, any experience, and without any credit. I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of successful real estate investors get their start by wholesaling real estate because wholesaling real estate allows you to build up funds. Remember, I said $5,000 to $10,000 a month is what you can be making with this, and they're building up these funds in order to put towards rentals. So if you're excited about me giving you the ultimate guide on how to wholesale real estate, I'm gonna give you everything. Hit that like button for me if you're excited. The first thing you need to do is you need to understand what wholesaling real estate actually is. What wholesaling real estate is whenever you're putting a discounted property under contract and you're flipping that contract to another real estate investor. Here's exactly what I mean. Let's say you put a property under contract for $100,000, you then sell that contract for $110,000 to another real estate investor. That difference of $10,000 is what you get to keep. To understand why someone else will be buying this contract off of you, let's say that you put this property under contract for that $100,000. That property is worth $200,000, but it needs about $40,000 worth of repairs. So if you remember, we put this property under contract for $100,000. We sold it to this real estate investor for $110,000. So that's what they're in the hole for right now. It's $110,000. It needs $40,000 worth of repairs. So they're now in the hole for $150,000. Well, now they're going to put it on the market and sell it for $200,000, making a $50,000 profit before taxes. A reason why wholesaling real estate is a good way to get started in the game of real estate is because it builds up your knowledge. You need to know a lot of different things about wholesaling real estate. That means repair costs, ARV, how much the property is going to be worth, etc., etc., etc. Fortunately for you, there's a ton of different resources out there for you that can teach you everything you need to know. So if you want more dedicated real estate investing videos like this one, hit that subscribe button, click the bell icon to get notified when I upload a YouTube video just like this one, teaching you everything you need to know about real estate investing. Before I go into actually how to find the deals, put it under contract, etc., how to find buyers, whatever, you need to understand that wholesaling real estate in general is a relationship-based industry. Now knowing that real estate is mostly a relationship-based business, you need to go out there and start networking with people. You need to go out there to your real estate investing meetup. So literally just go to meetup.com, type in real estate investing club, meetup, event, etc. Just go to them. You're going to meet a ton of different investors, new investors, experienced investors, and everything in between. Just start talking with people, gather up some experience, build some rapport with people. So now whenever you have a property under contract, like I'm about to show you how to do, then you already have a network of people that you can possibly sell this contract to. There's only two key things that you need to know how to do in order to be successful with wholesaling. That is how to find deals and how to find buyers. First, we're going to talk about how to find the properties. You can do anything you want to, but I'm going to tell you some of my favorites. One of my favorite ways is to utilize online platforms such as BirdDogBot and foreclosure.com. You can find a slew of off-market properties on birddog.com and foreclosure.com. I'm going to leave some links in the description down below this video. Those are my two favorite ways. Those are the two ways that I find deals, but some ways that I got my start with wholesaling and a bunch of different people that how they got started with wholesaling is they went to classified ads. So Facebook, Craigslist, etc. You can start doing bandit signs where you put in I'll buy homes for cash, put in your phone number and they'll call you or send you a text. You can do direct mail campaigns, and this is basically where you find a specific zip code and you can send direct mailers to these people's addresses and saying, hey, do you have a property I could potentially buy from you all cash? If buying a property all cash seems intimidating to you, don't worry because you're not the one buying it. Remember, you're going to be selling the contract to another real estate investor that's actually going to be purchasing the property. Another way you can be finding properties is by driving for dollars. This is D for D. This is basically where you're taking your car, you're going literally driving neighborhoods looking for distressed properties. The weeds are really tall, the windows are broken in, it looks like no one's lived there for a while. You can then take that address and put it into a bunch of different websites and come up with the property owner's information. You can then contact that property owner and you can strike a deal with them because obviously they're neglecting this property, so why don't they just sell it and get off their hands? Another great way to find properties, and I think is very underutilized in the realm of wholesaling real estate, is connecting with real estate agents. What you can do is basically saying like, hey, I'm gonna build some rapport with some real estate agents. Whenever a real estate agent has a disgusting looking house that looks like it's beat up, etc., that they know they can't take to market, they can then bring it to you and say, hey, I know you have this list of buyers that love to buy these types of properties. Could you please market it out to these different buyers? And if they buy it, I'll give you a finder's fee. And that's exactly what we were talking about. And back in the example, if you were putting a property under contract for $100,000, you sell it for the contract to $110,000. That $10,000 is considered a finder's fee. You found the property. But in this case, whenever the real estate agent is bringing it to you, they might give you that full amount. They might not. You might have to strike a deal with them. But I mean, hey, if you're willing to split that in half, let's say the real estate agent gets $5,000, you get $5,000. That's still $5,000 more than you had before. Next, after you found the property or potential property, you need to learn how to analyze the deal. This is why I love BirdDogBot.com, is because you can just put in an address one time, and honestly, you don't have to put in an address because BirdDog.com will do all the research for you. It will pick out all the great deals for you in specific areas. If you just want to type in Oklahoma City, whatever market that you're in, that's where you can start looking for deals, and it will pop out like, hey, this property might be a good fit for wholesaling. Now you just have to send that address to a bunch of different buyers and see if someone will pay your finder's fee. Once you've analyzed the deal and you've come up with a number, so let's go back to the example. You put this property under contract for $100,000. So that's making the offer. And how did you get to making the offer of $100,000? You came to it because you saw like, hey, if this property is all fixed up and nice, it could be worth $200,000. And based off the repairs that you think this property is going to need, you came up with a number of $40,000. And then you came up with the number that, hey, I want the flipper or whoever's going to buy this property from me, I want them to profit a little bit as well. You want to make it a win-win-win, like a win for you, a win for the seller, and a win for the real estate investor that's going to be flipping the property as much as possible, because you don't want to screw some people out. You don't want to ruin relationships. A lot of times taking a loss of, let's say, instead of making $10,000, you made $5,000. It's a lot better to do that, making $5,000 rather than $10,000, and then potentially screwing someone out of the deal, making them lose money, because then you lose the relationship, and then that's potentially money that you could have made in the future. Another thing about the BirdDogBot.com is basically it's going to find how much this property could be worth after it's all fixed up as well. So you don't have to do any work. You don't have to do any calculations, etc. It does it all for you. Back to making the offer, you want to be making an offer on this property. Let's say that, again, you put it on a contract for $100,000. You want a $50,000 payout. You probably won't be doing this because let's say you know the property is worth $200,000. You don't want to be selling this contract to an investor for $150,000 whenever you know the repairs are $40,000 and only the real estate investor, whoever's going to be flipping the property, is only standing to gain $10,000. Just doesn't make sense, and no one is going to buy that property from you. Now, after you looked at all the different ways to find properties and you finally found a property and you put it under contract and you're ready to go, you need to find a buyer to actually buy that contract from you. First, reach out to the network that I was talking about earlier in this video, because they're going to be your first line to go to because they already know you. They're, let's just say, call them a warm lead in terms of marketing. They're familiar with you. They know who you are. They know what you're doing, etc. If they don't want the property for whatever reason, maybe they have money tied up, maybe, they don't have time for it, etc., 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 you can go to Facebook groups where whatever city that you're wanting to, obviously you have the property in. You can go to, let's say, Denver, Colorado real estate investing group, and that's where the property is. Well, you can go to that Facebook group and post in there like, hey, I got this property under contract for X amount. This is how much it's worth. This is how much the repairs are, etc., etc., etc. Who wants this deal? You can do this for all the different types of Facebook groups that are out there. You can put this on Craigslist. Here's a little gold nugget for you, that if you want to find some other ways to finding buyers, go to Yelp, look up general contractors, contact those general contractors, the people that actually do the work on the home, the people that actually are doing the work on the properties for the flippers. Contact them, ask them like, hey, who is employing you? Like, I want to get in touch with them because I have potentially a property for them. A way to incentivize that general contractor to give up that information is basically saying like, hey, I'll give you $1,000 if this deal goes through. What person wouldn't take that up? It's just giving them a phone number, giving them a name, giving them an email address. You could also do a similar thing like this, is where you're going around driving different neighborhoods, driving for dollars, and you see some properties that are getting flipped. You could tell that they're getting renovated, etc. Just stop on the side of the road ask the people that are working there, be like, hey, you know, who's paying you to do this? You know, who's your general contractor? That way I can get in touch with them. That way I can get in touch with the flipper, etc., etc., etc. But if you want a more detailed way on how to find buyers, I'll make that for you. If that's something that you want me to do, I'll just need to know that that's something that you want. So comment below, need buyers. Now, let's say that you got the property under contract and you found a buyer. Now the only thing left to do is to close the deal. You'll need to work with a title company, or you might need to work with an attorney to close this process. It's super easy. Most title companies out there understand what wholesaling real estate is, and they know the process to go from here. So whenever you put the property under contract, you find the buyer, that's whenever you contact the title company, and that's whenever you get this whole thing going. But I will say that you need to come prepared whenever it comes to talking with the title company or an attorney, because they're probably going to have some questions for you. After that, congratulations, because you just closed on your first wholesale deal. Remember that those links are going to be in the description down below for the BirdDogBot.com and the foreclosure.com. If you're ready to hit the ground running on finding off-market properties more than what I just told you on where to find properties, click on that video that's popping up on your screen right now, because I'll show you exactly how to find more off-market properties. So if you're interested, click on that video. But until next video, I'm out. See ya.